Hmm. Hey guys, how's it going? Brad here, known on Tumblr as Red Eagle Peaceful Fist, and sorry if I seem a little distracted. I'm looking at myself on camera now, and I've never noticed just how distinct the color difference is between my head hair and my beard. It used to all be this color, but it's changed. Anyway, I digress. So yeah, Kendall, Okinawanwarrior, put out this cool little questionnaire for martial artists he wanted people to answer, and as opposed to being boring, just typing mine up, I thought I'd follow his example and put a video out. First time doing this, so bear with me. I know the reverb in there is not particularly good, and it might be a little shaky. This is my laptop webcam. It's really crappy. But anyway, to get into his questions, what's the current martial art you study? Okay, alright, well, that's kind of complicated. My entire practicing history is kind of complicated, but short version as far as like who I'm training with right now and what their focus is unified fighting arts and Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu. That's the bottom line base of it. Unified fighting arts is Sifu Mark McFan's basically combined curriculum, practicing multiple styles at one time. It consists of Muay Thai and boxing, Junpan, Jikundo, Filipino martial arts. We call it Kali. Some people call it a scream harness. Depends on where you are. That's a cat. Down. It also consists of Silat and an amalgamation of grappling arts, including Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, Judo, and some wrestling. Just basically anything and everything that's considered grappling is in that little area. And then, of course, we have some guys that are primarily Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu. We have classes for Unified Fighting Arts, and then classes strictly dedicated to Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu. And seeing as the next question is what arts have I practiced in the past and what do I wish to practice in the future, I can kind of explain what my training history is a little bit. I started out in Taekwondo, full contact Taekwondo, and my first master, he also had a type of combined curriculum, but it wasn't as organized and official as Sifu McFan's. It was based around Taekwondo, with a heavy emphasis on practical application. My teacher was really good about, teaching you the traditional stuff that you needed to know, and then saying, yes, never use this in real life. That's an outdated technique. That was intended for a different time period. This is the variation you want to do. Stuff like that. But at each belt level, we learned the basics from other styles. He was also really big on cross training and incorporating different styles and just finding what suits you personally. So at different belts, we learned the basics to Jiu-Jitsu, Judo, Kali, Silat, Muay Thai, and a lot of weaponry, like all kinds of various weaponry. Kobudo traditional weapons, traditional Chinese weapons, the basic kind that go with the Filipino martial arts, those weapons found in Silat. And he was also big on teaching how many of the weapons are all basically the same in function. They just take different forms. So I kind of include weaponry as its own little martial art because it's the all-encompassing spectrum of weapons. And then from there, I learned Muay Thai in Thailand, actually. I have family over there, and I had to train there for a while and continue training when I came back to the States. I focused heavily on Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu when I lived in Tulsa, like just straight Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu. That's all I did. And then moved back, started training. I've been on and off with Sifu McFan for about 5 years now, ever since I started college. And it's just been hard to stay consistent with him because college, it's don't always have money or I don't always have time, depending on how the semester's laid out. And then I have also practiced capoeira kind of inconsistently for the past 3 years, I think. And I only recently stopped going to my training sessions there. I have a post about it in my Tumblr about why I had to stop going. It's kind of a kind of a personal thing. Don't want to get into it, but I really love capoeira. I just love how it unlocks my body. I haven't touched free weights in over a year, and yet just the training I did with capoeira has made me stronger. And so it's pretty incredible. And I just love how so many movements are less foreign to me, and I use it more for conditioning than anything else. And there's not a whole lot in capoeira that I would use combatively, although it's not nothing. But yeah, capoeira is more of my conditioning art. And so, like I said, back with Sifu McFan. And as far as arts I would like to practice, I have kind of an encyclopedic knowledge about just any martial art, and I've done a little experimenting in practice with Krav Maga and Ninjutsu. And if I could pick any arts I'd like to practice in the future, it would probably be those two. So let's see what his next question is. What art style is the opposite of yours? I think I understand what he's asking with that, but it's really hard for me to answer. As I just got done explaining, you know, I have kind of a wide array of styles I'm familiar with and I practice. So it's not as easy to say like, I'm a boxer, so wrestling would be the opposite, or Muay Thai, so Jiu-Jitsu would be the opposite. It's not that easy for me because I do kind of a balanced combination of striking arts and grappling arts and arts that kind of blur the line. So I guess any style that is more basic and concrete, I guess, because obviously I have a very diverse style. My technical arsenal is pretty big, and that's to my advantage in some cases, but also to my disadvantage in other cases. Now, like Bruce Lee said, I don't fear the man who practiced 10,000 kicks once. I fear the man who practiced one kick 10,000 times. And I keep that in heart, but at the same time, I'm trying to do a similar thing that Kendall's doing and try to be extremely balanced and not be vulnerable in any one area. And unfortunately, when you focus on multiple areas, it takes a little longer to reach the higher levels. So to answer the question, any style that is more specialized, when I say style, I mean a person's personal style, would contrast me in that they have just been hammering in the same stuff over and over and over. So it's the best I can offer in terms of that question. What would your dream fight, meaning the easiest fighting scenario you can imagine, be? Well, easiest fight would be the guy that just doesn't know anything and I take out with one hit or one takedown or something like that. I don't know. But dream fight to me kind of means something different because I love fighting, and the best fights are the kind where it's a good back and forth. You know, one guy takes advantage for a little bit, then it switches around, the other guy takes advantage, or maybe it's just back and forth the whole time. I love the energy from that. And I just love the the connection you make with your sparring partner or your opponent. Yeah, it's just so. It's one of the things that kept me hooked. So a dream fight for me would, I guess, be comparable to the classic Forrest Griffin Stephan Bonner fight from years past. You know, when they completed the first Ultimate Fighter. You know, just maybe not an all-out exhausted slugfest, but a really good back and forth, a really good exchange. That would be my dream fight. And then the last question is the opposite. What would be your nightmare fight, meaning the hardest fighting scenario? Hardest fighting scenario? 10 guys, all with weapons, and I'm unarmed and naked. I guess. That's a nightmare right there. But to answer it more seriously, I guess just someone with Brock Lesnar's build, John Bones' reach, Bruce Lee's speed. I don't know. It's really hard to answer that because I don't really have any nightmare scenarios. I love the idea of the challenge. I love the idea of testing my limits. So finding something I can't beat, and right now in my training there's obviously plenty of that. But I love these challenges that I keep running into. So it's really hard to say what a nightmare scenario would be. So yeah, that's all for now, and maybe I'll make another video, put it out sometime if I feel like it. In the meantime, y'all take care.